success. Nothing stands in man's way. All rivers run dry. Soon the birds won't fly.
Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Great things are happening at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. We're now joined by Dr. Amarnath Chinchami about the international accreditation from the Joint Board of Moderators for a program he led, which is the Project Management and Civil Infrastructure Systems Unit. I hope I got that right, at the UTT. Good morning to you, Doctor, and welcome.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me this morning.
So let's talk about the good news. Let's talk about the accreditation.
Yes, so we recently received international accreditation, well, it's specialized international accreditation for our civil engineering programs. We have two programs really that we want to discuss today. One is the Bachelor's of Applied Science degree in Civil Engineering Systems with options in Structural Engineering, Environmental Engineering, and Construction Engineering and Management. So we have three options in this bachelor's program. We also have an NETD program, which is a higher advanced national diploma engineering programs in civil engineering. So both programs are accredited for a full 5 years. Now this is a great achievement by the university, because many times when you first approach an accreditation institution, you're not sure what your accreditation status will be after the visit. We were surprised and very pleasantly surprised that we received a full 5-year accreditation from the institution. Now the Joint Board of Moderators in the UK is an accumulation or an organization with 5 other institutions. So unlike some of the other institutions, this Joint Board of Moderators, they oversee different areas of civil engineering. So we are quite pleased, we are quite happy, and we would just like the national community, and of course you have international viewers, to be aware of our accreditation status.
What did the accreditation process entail?
Oh, well, it entails quite a lot, to be honest with you. Well, first we applied for preliminary evaluation. It was received by the JBM and they accepted the evaluation. This was based on just our program structure, the amount of resources that we had to put forward. And before I go further, I must say UTT and UTT programs are all accredited by the Accreditation Councils of Trinidad and Tobago. So we do have that accreditation. Local accreditation. So what we have been doing systematically over the university over the years is to ensure that most, if not all, of our engineering programs receive accreditation. And in fact, civil engineering is actually the most recent one to achieve this milestone. But we have had in the past other programs in UTT, engineering programs, that have been already accredited. In fact, some of them are up for re-accreditation this year. So we are quite pleased and happy and proud of those milestones. But going back to your question about what it entails, well, it entails first an initial application, which we completed, and we needed to prepare a report. Now, the accreditation itself required us, because we were in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a little extra work to do. In other words, we needed to identify the areas or how we transition from face-to-face learning into this blended or online virtual learning. So we were caught up in that situation where we needed to also do a little more in terms of putting together our reports. But I must say the university staff members and my team that we put together, including the academic and administrative staff, they did a wonderful job in getting our report to a state where even the accredited team or the accreditation team was so impressed with what we had.
I was going to ask, the team, do they visit the university as well?
So it involved a 2-day visit, 3 international accreditors or 3 international professionals from different institutions, and also 2 local in what we call industrialists. So we had 2 key persons in the industry that came down to Trinidad for a 2-day visit to look at scripts, to look at our curriculum, to interview staff, to interview students, present students, to interview past students, and also to interview people from the industry in the form of the Industry Advisory Board. So it was a very packed timetable of 2 days, but prior to that, they received all the documentation probably about 6 to 8 weeks beforehand. Yes.
So you'll have workshops and so on, so they would have looked to come and visit the workshop, look at...
Yes, definitely, and by workshops, I assume that you mean labs, engineering labs. Yes. So yes, they would have looked at they would have visited the labs. They also visited the facilities, so our libraries, some of the classrooms, the study areas for students, and definitely our labs were major, how you call it, a major point or a major area which they
would have
looked at. Yes.
What was some of the feedback or comments that you got?
Well, one of the most pleasant feedback that we received is they were extremely pleased with our graduates. In fact, our graduates, the ones that are out there that have been in the field quite a long period of time, because we have graduates from 2011, I believe, our first set of graduates from 2011. So many of them have transitioned into major roles in the government services. In fact, at least 2 or 3 of our graduates from our programs now sit in our industrial advisory board because they hold senior government and state positions.
Well, I wanted to talk about where your graduates are now, but before we go there, let's tell the public what this accreditation means.
Oh, well, what it means, it gives our students some assurance that their program is recognized globally. It's recognized in other universities outside of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we have never had a problem in the civil engineering fraternity here where our students are able to transition into the industry. Our programs are designed in such a way that our assessments, the learning exercises or the learning strategies that we implement is geared towards the industry. So our students don't have a problem transitioning straight out of academia into the world, the working world. So we did not have that issue, but what we do have now is that extra confidence that our students have. Well, hey, my degree can stand up to
they
scrutiny.
Can go anywhere.
Anywhere. Now we have also had situations where our students will leave here and they would have continued their master's degrees, and some of them were doing their PhD. We also have students. One of our instructor is an assistant professor doing her PhD or did her PhD at the UTT as well. So she moved from a bachelor's degree and completed her PhD degree. So we have students who have gone on to that level, and we expect that it will continue. Yes.
So, since you're talking about the graduates, I mean, tell us about 1 or 2 who really have done really well.
Okay, well, as I said before, we have had graduates in all areas of the state sectors, but I could think about quite a number of them. One in particular who recently received his board engineering stamp in structural engineering. Now, most people involved in the civil engineering environment knows that there are not many graduates to have received this structural engineering stamp. Not only it's not a general civil engineering stamp, but it's a board registered structural engineering stamp. And this, I must say, is a great achievement by him.
What do you have to do to acquire this stamp?
Well, this stamp is, any stamp, this is a board register, so you need to prove to yourself, you need to prove to the board, and you need to prove to the Board of Engineers that you have done this necessary work in a set area of maybe project management, design, project execution. So you have to prove to them that you have done that amount of work. So again, our graduates transitioning from academia into the world have been able to perform, and they have been able to show that they have performed.
That they are high performers. There's some misinformation out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation about UTT, because what happened, UTT have many ways to articulate into our programs. One is that that when people decide to do subjects, they just choose subjects that they want, and they don't really look at a career.
Correct.
So we have people obtaining 7 and 8 O-levels or CSEC passes, but not in the areas which is required for engineering studies. That's right. So what UTT launched a few years ago, in fact, this was the highlight of UTT, was an alternate route towards this degree. So you do a certificate of applied engineering. Well, in that time they call it a pre-university certificate. Then you move and transition into a diploma, and then you move on to your degree. Now, what people assume is that you could enter into a UTT degree with not a full complement of A-level passes, and that was definitely not the case. That is not the case. These students work very, very hard to move from those levels of certificates to diploma into a degree. And we have found, and even students who would have, because a lot of us attended UE, you would find that students who matriculate into a degree program, the students that did it through the route of the certificate and diploma performs better than probably
just
the A-levels.
Yes,
because A-levels, you come with just your core skills of maths and science, but these students at the diploma level, they are aware of the engineering concepts at an early age. So they understand they understand the fundamentals, and they appreciate it much better.
I mean, people who are already in the field, working professionals without the academic background can still...
Of course, yeah, that's another route. We have a mature entry route. Of course, they have to prove to ourselves that they can be able to cope with the level of math and science that are involved. So what you have is the program leaders or the discipline leaders. They will call you in for an interview. They will assess your ability to perform these calculators. We will recommend sometimes that these students complete a math course, complete a science course, because they may have
within the university.
We have that we have that option as well. Yes, we have that option. We've recently launched our U-STEP program, and the U-STEP program is to supplement these courses or these subjects that they may not have been exposed to earlier on in their career or their education lifespan.
So you're never too old to learn.
Never too old to learn.
At UTT,
yes.
of course.
At UTT.
Multiple campuses.
Yes.
So, you don't just have to go to one campus.
Right. So our South campus is the main campus for civil engineering, but we also have campuses in the east, which is our flagship campus, the Tamana campus, and we also have campuses in the north, which is the maritime, marine sciences, and maritime campuses in Chagaramas, and also John D campus with fashion and arts and some engineering programs. We also have campus in Point Lisas, and yes, and
so
we also have...
doing the civil engineering program, do I have to go to a specific campus?
Not really. We have people who are doing the diploma at Tobago campus as well. So you can access our programs virtually as well. We have gone into a hybrid system now because we have seen the impact of COVID, and while COVID was hard on everyone, we do see some benefits of taking our programs virtually.
Definitely a lot of benefits, because I mean, if I'm doing my degree part-time and I have to travel or commute to get to a campus, it's easier for me. I can log on my phone.
Yeah, exactly.
And still, still participate in
And while we're talking on virtual and hybrid motion, I want to say that UTT, because of our lack of subventions over the years, we have had to make certain changes to our delivery of our program. Our institutions were at a place where we were able to transition quite seamlessly into the online virtual world, because maybe way back in 2018, we start delivering programs at multiple campuses simultaneously. So we will have these Zoom classes where we can reach out to people and students in Tobago. We have the instructors at the John D campus, and they will be streaming the lectures.
Delivering the one lecture, one tutorial to multiple campuses.
Correct.
Wow.
In addition to that, we started to use our learning management systems, our digital platform at that point in time. So instructors were starting to put together their material, testing our students, even before COVID.
So it was a seamless transition when COVID hit.
Of course, we had some hiccups. Yeah, we had some hiccups at the start, but we were able, I think we were in a better place than most of the institutions and the universities around the world.
So, Dr. Chinchami, as we close, is there anything else you'd like to add, anything else you'd like to tell members of the public?
Of course. One of the things that I would like to reflect on is one of the local assessors who came back, and he said prior to coming to do the evaluation, he was a bit apprehensive because he did not know a lot about UTT and UTT degree. He said the next time somebody asked him where they should go and do their civil engineering program, he will tell them, do it in a campus, do it in a facility that's convenient to them. And I would like to tell them that our facilities are geared toward we've tailor-made our course, our programs to suit just about every learner. Just about any learner.
Just about every.
Last one that I want to identify is that we do have an engineering program that run in the afternoon, in the evening class. So unlike other universities, which is very difficult, so we have students who work in the industry, and at 5 o'clock they log on, they come to campus, they do their labs at 5 to 9. It's tough, but it's also a way where they can achieve their diplomas and their degrees.
Academic goals. So Dr. Chinchami, let me thank you so much for coming here in person, joining us, and of course to share the good news. And of course, congratulations to you and of course the rest of UTT. And we look forward to hearing much more from your graduates and so on.
Thank you very much.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
So we're going to head off to a quick break. But as we head off to the break, what are we going to share with you? Let me see. Oh, we're going to share with you, this is a traffic update coming in from Tobago.
You could see that as lucky or unlucky, but once you're living here, this is your family. Niceness of the land isn't the sea and sand, is the champion.